Hey Baltimore, just an update on some of the things that happened this week besides, the regular mayoral duties, cabinet meetings, board of estimates, but, it started off actually in Boston this week at the U.S. Conference of Mayors where we talked about everything from the census that is coming in 2020 and how important it is for everybody to answer those questions. But one of the things we talked about was the question of citizenship, a new question that's on the census, and what we want folks to do is really question why that is on it. So we're right now in court suing over that question, but a great meeting, U.S. Conference of Mayors. I took an opportunity to slide over to Harvard University and talk with an economist about the outlook for Baltimore. Great conversation there. And then went on to New York to the Mayors, it was called the Mayors College, and the presidents of companies and corporations, their college too. This was presented by Harvard University, where I got an opportunity to meet with corporate execs from all across the country. And good news for Baltimore. Blankfein, who is the president of Goldman Sachs, said in that meeting the reason that he was investing in Baltimore was not just because of the leadership, but because he expects to make money off of the investments. He's investing over $200 million in Baltimore. As a result of that, we met others who were interested in investing in Baltimore. So that made me think more how important our investment fund that we've created by leasing our garages, which will generate $55 million, focused on investing in neighborhoods in our city that have been underinvested in for decades, including Park Heights, parts of East Baltimore, Poppleton, Sandtown, and others that really deserve that kind of investment. I tell folks I don't call our neighborhoods poor, I call them underinvested in. So really excited about the collaborations that will take place in the future. A lot of things taking place. We had a conversation with a group of, I think they call themselves members of the Pan-Health Council. This is all the fraternities, all the sororities, because we've got this big art show that's going to happen right here in City Hall, June 27th, right here in City Hall from 6 to 8 p.m., featuring the great Pancho Brown. Wonderful artists. You're invited 6 to 8 p.m. right here in City Hall. And so I asked the sororities and fraternities if they would join me in inviting people to City Hall. So groups, organizations, individuals, it's great art. We're celebrating June as Black Music Month, and we're celebrating it through the artwork of Pancho Brown. Also had an opportunity to speak in Washington, D.C. around smart cities, women in technology. And I talked about the investment that we're making in our city in terms of the changing the lights throughout the city, allowing our poles to be used for new technology, investing in our police department, but also for those of you who didn't get a chance to have a conversation or either interact with our proposal that's online as it relates to transforming Baltimore through technology, working with our schools. We just opened up a STEAM camp in the Cherry Hill area, so we're very, very excited. Wanted to remind you this week was also World Elder Abuse. Spoke at a senior complex in Baltimore about the need for us to understand how important it is to take care of our seniors. Oftentimes our seniors are being abused in senior buildings or in their homes by caretakers, and we want people, if you see something, say something. Don't allow that kind of abuse to take place. Also gathered with a group of young people with our African American Male Initiative here, trying to get our squeegee young people off of the corners into work so that they're not abusive on our corners. We understand that many of our young people out there are out there to make money, but at the same time what we've said to them is that there's a way to present yourself. And in many cases I've gotten the reports from people in our community saying how abusive these young people are. So we're trying to gather them up and find out what their needs are. Some of them are old enough to be working. Some of them could be going to our Mayor's College, a scholarship program at Baltimore City Community College. As you well know, we made Baltimore City Community College free. And some of them need some services, so we're going to continue to work with them. Also got a chance to see one of my favorite artists in Baltimore City, Davon Love. You remember him from The Voice, got to 4th place. Should have won, in my opinion, but he sang at the Twilight on the Terrace Pride event. Just awesome. And then let's not forget Pride. We marched in the Pride Parade, and many of my staff members and the LGBTQ commission members also participated. The Violence Reduction Initiative that we have every day, Monday through Friday, a.m. in the morning at the police department. We have all our command staff and our agencies that impact violence in our city in the same room. Went very well this week, every day, focusing in on how we reduce violence. We also will be announcing an initiative where we partner with our federal partners to try to get in front of some of the violence that's occurring in our city. We're still trending downward. You should know that. We're about 20% down in homicides and down in almost every single category of violence in our city, but we've got a long way to go. One life lost is one life too many. Also, I participated in our listening tour. This is my call to action group that came together some time ago, almost past a year now that they've been meeting. But we conduct listening tours, walking out into neighborhoods and communities and ascertaining from people what their concerns are. We were in the Park Heights area earlier this week, talking with individuals in the neighborhood, especially. I was mostly on in the Belvedere corridor talking to individuals. We also celebrated with the men who work in City Hall our Father's Day. Hope you all had great Father's Day. We had celebrated them. I think everybody got a pair of socks or something like that. And finally, I also went to the Walters Art Gallery. They've opened up this new wing, new door. You can go in. But what's so great about this is that they're local artists that are now on display at the Walters Art Gallery. Don't miss it. Remember, the Walters Art Gallery, with many of our museums throughout the city, are free. So take your family, take your friends, take your visitors, and I know this is family reunion time, so it's a great place to visit. Just wanted to find a way to share with you some of the things that are going on in City Hall and outside of City Hall, the things that I'm doing on your behalf. So I hope you find this useful. I'll see you next time.